So I cannot wait for you to experience it with us. It's an amazing journey.
On the other hand, I studied myself the competing site of the Garden Tomb, which is a marvelous place for devotional activity. It's an ideal place. It's a beautiful garden. It is a place well to the taste of Westerners. It is a wonderful sight. But the burial cave there is much, much earlier than the time of Jesus. It dates back to the first temple period. To the best of my understanding, it is of the 8th or early 7th century BC. Mm-hmm. That is centuries before Jesus. And Jesus was buried in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, which is said to be a new tomb.
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating points, and I'm looking forward to having you bring us up to the church and having a look around. So before we wrap up here to head over to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, over your left shoulder, there's an abbey over there. What can you tell us about that place?
That building was built around 1910. It is a result of the visit paid to Jerusalem in 1898 of the Emperor of Germany, Wilhelm II, who got that plot from the Turkish Sultan, Abdul Hamid. The building standing there is a Catholic building. It is the Dormition Abbey. Dormition, that means the place of sleeping. That is the place where the Virgin Mary slept forever, according to tradition. The place is the summit of Mount Zion, which is the Christian appellation of that place. Mount Zion has an agglomeration of Christian edifices upon it. Next to this building of the Dormition Abbey is also the room of the Last Supper, the cenaculum, and there are other places as well, such as the house of Caiaphas, the high priest in the time of Jesus, in which Jesus was allegedly arrested, etc. There are many other Christian edifices.
There's really no direction you could look at in this city and not see something of historical significance.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And that makes me enjoy the place where I live.
Hello. Good morning. Good. How about you?
Yes.
Good.
This is the main street of the Christian Quarter. We are in the front of the Holy Sepulchre. The front faces south. Unlike most Christian edifices, the entrance to which is from the west, and you proceed east towards the rising sun. This facade of the building is Crusader, dating back to the 12th century. Now, there was a double entry. One side is blocked since the beginning of 19th century. Inside that blocked area were the tombs of the Crusader kings of Jerusalem from Baldwin I and on. Those tombs were destroyed during a fire that took place here in 1808. Following that fire, the Greeks blocked up the entrance and put a staircase against it on the inside, leading up to the Chapel of Golgotha. Now, the facade itself has two stories. It has the second story supported by a projecting cornice, which is sculptured. That cornice in style is Roman, and probably it stems from the Temple of Venus, which was dismantled by Emperor Constantine, who in the beginning of the 4th century built the original building at the site here. So the original building was inaugurated around 335, following a previous visit of Empress Helena, the Emperor Constantine's mother, who allegedly, according to a church father named Eusebius, carried out excavations here. She was like the modern archaeologist. She excavated and always found what she wanted. Now, what she found here were the remnants of the true cross, but she found more than what she needed, actually. So they checked the pieces of wood against some sick people, and the one piece that cured the sick was regarded to be the holy cross upon which Jesus was crucified, or the Vera Cruz. Now, that cross was taken in captivity by the Persians in 614 and returned to Jerusalem a decade later. In any case, many pieces of that cross are scattered in different churches in Europe. If you put all of them together, you get a forest. Now, the Holy Sepulchre present-day building has 5 major parts. There is an outer courtyard, the parvis, underneath which there are large cisterns. They collect the rainwater which was gathered from the roofs of the building. It was a large building, and the roof was regarded to be a catchment area for rainwater. So actually you can take a boat and have a trip in the cistern underneath here. Now, in front of the forecourt here, there was a colonnade. You can see here one half of a column and the beginning of the springing of an arch.
Yes.
Yeah, that arch was supported by a pillar upon which this lady sits. You can see the pillar base here.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a whole row of pillars here with arches. Ahead of us is the main entrance. Again, it is Crusader. At the front of it, in the floor, there is a wooden cover which underneath which is buried Philippe d'Aubigny, the educator of King of England Henry IV, one of the people who signed the Magna Carta. He is buried here. Inside, there are 2 major parts. One is the round part, in the center of which is the Holy Sepulchre, that is the Rotunda. It is surrounded by pillars and topped by a dome. Another part is the Catholicon, which is a squarish part, which marks the center of earth, and that part is in the hands of the Greek Orthodox. 2 other parts are, one elevated, that is the Chapel of Golgotha, where crucifixion took place, and a subterranean part where Empress Helena found the remnants of the true cross. The building in present-day shape follows more or less the Crusader building, which was built in the 12th century, following the conquest of Jerusalem the last year of the 11th century, 1099, July, when the Crusaders entered. One of the first tasks was to rebuild the Holy Sepulchre. So the building belongs to different denominations who share parts and share also time at different points, which are important to all denominations.
Yes.
We entered the Holy Sepulchre. At the entrance there is the Stone of Anointment. upon which the body of Jesus was laid when he was taken down from the cross. We are here in a section which is property of the Armenian church, and the place marked with the dome above, this is the place where Mary watched her son being crucified. This is the place of the standing mother, or the Stabat Mater. Now, this is a place to which I enjoy coming, because to watch people and the reaction to the Stone of Anointment, which is right at the entrance to the Holy Sepulchre, is one of the most fascinating things from the point of view of psychology and people watching.
Yes.
There are people who kiss the stone.
Yes.
There are others who stretch upon the stone in order the stone to touch as many possible parts of their body. There are yet others who bring from home a handkerchief that they soak in perfume and then squeeze it to the stone and then collect it again and squeeze it back to the bottle. That is perfume that touched the stone. There are others for whom it is very difficult psychologically to absorb the situation, and they begin mumbling and they begin showing psychotic signs.
Wow.
The hospitals in Jerusalem are full with such cases known as the Jerusalem syndrome.
Jerusalem, let's have a name for it. Jerusalem syndrome, that
Yes.
people just overcome and
Yes,
have a
it
psychotic break.
It is mainly happening to Westerners. Now, the stone itself is allegedly the stone upon which the body of Jesus was washed and prepared and purified for burial.
Wow.
When Emperor Constantine came here, he found here a natural hill. The hill is named in the Gospels Golgotha, but that name is neither mentioned by Josephus nor in the Hebrew Bible, neither in the writings of Flavius Josephus or in the writings of any other historians of that time. So we are quite puzzled about it. The name Golgotha means in Aramaic language skull, skull hill.
Oh.
When Emperor Constantine came here, found the remnants of that rocky knoll, which stood there since the time of Jesus, and he cut it and left two cubical pieces of the rocky hill. One of them was where the cross stood, and that is the chapel of Golgotha. The other one included a cave, and that is the burial of Christ. That rocky cube, which included the cave, disintegrated as a result of constant fires which occurred in the church. We are here in the major part of the Holy Sepulchre. This is the Rotunda. It is a round structure which has in the middle another edicule, or another small chapel. The small chapel has a turret on top, and it is made of pinkish colored stones. This structure, which includes the tomb of Jesus, this structure was built by the Russian Tsars after the original rocky structure that existed here disintegrated. Inside there are two chambers. The first one is the antechamber, in which there was the rolling stone, which was found to be unrolled by the women who came to visit the place 3 days after crucifixion, and they are the ones who found the tomb empty. In any case, a remnant, an alleged remnant of the rolling stone is there. By the way, the rolling stone was not round. And of course, these were non-singing rolling stones. The name Rolling Stone in Aramaic is Golal, and it is a name for any stone that blocked the entrance to a burial cave. Even if it was a squarish plug, it is named Rolling Stone. So we have about 1,100 burial caves around Jerusalem from that time, and only in 4 of them we have round rolling stones. The chapel of the Rotunda, which is round, and it is covered by a dome. The dome in antiquity was open to the sky. There was a direct contact between heaven and earth in the building, and it is surrounded by pillars. If one looks at the pillars, they look non-proportional. Pillars are original pillars of Constantine of the 4th century. But in the 12th century, when the present-day church was built, they were cut each of them by half. And therefore the non-proportional look of them. They were much taller, 2 times taller. Actually, the 2 pillars behind me are made of 2 halves of 1 pillar of antiquity.
That's it for this particular interview. Thanks for joining me. Really excited to take this ongoing journey with you as we keep bringing more content. If you haven't already, you really should subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of phenomenal content coming down the road into the future that you'll want to know about. Leave a comment down here. I think people would love to hear from you, and then you can hear from them too. If you liked it, go ahead and give a like. It only takes half a second, and share this with people that you care about. The world needs more light in it right now. So thanks for being with me. Hope to connect with you again soon.